To me, music is a very spiritual thing. So spiritual that its connection to people can be both collective and personal at the same time. Like, two people can listen to the same song and receive two completely different feelings from it. I love how music can be a reminder of a season or teach a lesson for a reason. On this list of albums that I'm thankful for, there's a little bit of both, like Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, the Creator, a rap album released by Tyler that tells the story of him being a heartbroken side piece, which is only recognizable if you listen to the album in its entirety. The instrumentals and the lyricism stand out to me because it highlights a different layer to who Tyler is as a creator. With this album being a reminder of where hip-hop once was.
Rolls Royce pull up, black boy hop out. Shout out to my mother and my father, did he pull out.
Oh, you look malnourished. Let's get some bread, fried an egg, yolk, and drown in the syrup.
To mix the heart with the soft stuff, have cadence and impeccable flows the whole way through is what made Call Me If You Get Lost so special to me. Call Me If You Get Lost spoke for itself, like Kanye's talented way of expressing his experiences spoke for him on Graduation.
Good morning.
Besides the fact that this album was released in 2007 and me having an enormously grand obsession with music that reminds me of my childhood, I can honestly say that in my opinion, this is one of Kanye's best albums. Graduation was different because it gave us a peek into how much his life had changed since he was first introduced as a rapper. From how he was dealing with regular life challenges to the challenges that came with being a famous rapper, like the money, the fame, and the women. Now, Rose in the Dark by Cleo Sol is one of those self-healing, self-cleansing albums that you only really can listen to when you're with yourself.
Why don't you just let go and quiet down your ego?
Although in every song she's not exactly directing you through that healing process, the guidance she gives herself and when she speaks in third person is relatable and encouraging enough to make you feel good.
How to have faith before taking the fall. Without the night, the sun couldn't show you.
To me, Cleo Sol is so refreshing because she reminds me of how beautiful the genre neo soul is. And even though they have differences in their artistry, she kind of reminds me a little bit of India Ari. Plenty of people have lost hope in modern day artists, believing that all they create is solely based off of pride, ego, sex, drugs, money, and toxic relationships. And for a while, I thought the same thing until I took the time to look around me and explore what's out there instead of just what's popular. And for that reason, I'm glad I found her. Speaking of things I'm glad I found, Victory Lap is on this list for how great of a reminder it is of what Nipsey Hussle believed. The rawness, the realism, and its motivating qualities.
Hey, tell me hustle, dumb it down, you might confuse them. It's like that weirdo rap you motherfuckers used to.
No, it really isn't.
Find your purpose or you wasting air. Fuck it though, y'all niggas scared.
The songs like Hustle and Motivate, Dedication, and Million While You Young, they're all musical reminders of the truth and the lessons he gave the masses before he left this plane. Who is Jill Scott? Words and Sounds, Volume 1 is a piece that not many people are aware of. Unless you're privy to Jill Scott or unless you have a black mother who was hooked on neo soul from the late 90s to the early 2000s. And being that this is an album that I did grow up on, it does hold a special place in my heart, not only for that reason, but also for the stories and the poetry. Which, because of how much I've grown and evolved, I can appreciate in its entirety. Like when I was younger, I'd receive music as just sounds. Anything that sounded good would be enough to pique my interest. But now that I've grown and evolved, I've learned to appreciate the message, the words, and the sounds. As you can tell by my last video, if you haven't watched it, go watch it after this. To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar is an album that I'm so glad reached the masses in the time when it was needed the most.
And if I got a brown nose for some gold, then I'd rather be a bum than a motherfucking bum. Oh yeah.
I'm thankful because it called out what needs to be addressed, fixed, and also what needs to be celebrated.
This is a world premiere.
I've been through a whole lot. Trial, tribulation, but I know God.
The reality check, the musical theatrics, speaking truth to power, filtering through the BS while being liberating at the same time. We don't get many albums like To Pimp a Butterfly. That kind of thing is hard to come by.
'Cause I want you more than you know.
come by like The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill being an album that makes me jealous of the people who got to listen to it when it first came out. Like, yeah, it hits now, but I bet it hit 3 times better back then.
It could all be so simple, but you'd rather make it hard.
I don't know if it's just me or if you can relate too, but I love it when I can listen to music and feel like I'm having a conversation with the artist, or when I catch puns and punchlines that might flow over heads. That's exactly how I feel when I listen to this album. It is a perfect mixture between soul singing and hip-hop. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is such a masterpiece that she never released another full body of music again, and she's still recognized as a legend. Take Care by Drake is one of those albums that you'll never get again, especially not from Drake, which is okay, and that's exactly why I'm thankful for it, because he gave his all. I'm not one of those people who believe that an artist should be held in the chains of what they've done in the past, and that they should always be trying to do exactly what they've done before, trying to replicate it. I appreciate their great works and the fact that they should move on, evolve, and try new things, because that's what being a creator is all about. And speaking of progress and evolution and stepping outside of the box, Renaissance. I really love Renaissance for being a renaissance to Beyonce and to her fans, because not only did it make me realize how talented she really is, it introduced her fans and new people to a different genre of music. Some people, like me, discover new music from the samples that she used.
I see you watching, feeding. I know you want it, scheming.
And others, not so much like me, learned that Black people were the pioneers and the creators of dancehall and house music.
Deadass. I'm deadass.
Now, some might be wondering why that fact is important, or may not view that as important, but to me it is. When you have critics questioning why she isn't staying in her lane, it opened the door for great lessons in the history of music, the history of people. And that's exactly why I'm thankful for it.
Not the time.
As these are all of the albums that I'm thankful for, with an honorable mention to Blonde by Frank Ocean, which if you haven't heard, you'll probably be obsessed with once you take a listen. And if you're not obsessed, I can guarantee you that you'll at least like it. Thank you for watching.
Dark skin of a summer shade, nose dive in the floodlines, tall tower, milk crate.